one of the most frustrating things in the Packers' fourth win of the season against the Cincinnati Bengals. So me and Dara talked about this game. Dara Carriger talked about this game on Monday. If you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. I think Dara, he's very smart. He knows what he's talking about. And we had a great chat. So that was fun. So make sure you check that out. And one thing that both of us agreed upon was the lack of efficiency by the Packers so far this year in the offense compared to last year, where that was their bread and butter. That's how they were able to win 13 football games and get their first seed in the NFC. So they had 80% red zone efficiency last year. This year, through 5 games, it has gone down to 55%, 27th in the league, 27th on a team with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Robert Tonyan, the same exact skill players on this team as last year that were number 1 in the league at red zone efficiency. Now they're 27th. And you might say, well, what happens, like all stats that are looked at so far this year with the Packers, it's thrown out there. Well, what if you remove that first week against the Saints? Well, even in the last 3 games, so just the Bengals, the Lions, and the 49, or the Bengals, the 49ers, and the Steelers, they are 25th in the league. So this red zone offense, like I mentioned, they have most of the same key players around. The one thing you could point to, though, is the offensive line, which, although they are performing amazing for considering the circumstances of not having that David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins these past 3 weeks, that could throw timing off on Aaron Rodgers, more pressure on him. That's one thing you could point to. But even outside of that, I think the play calling in the red zone by Matt LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett, the gold zone, has really been lacking. The creativity, Dara mentioned the Devontae Adams, the motion that Devontae Adams, other wide receivers were so good at Matt LaFleur's offense in general, but especially in the red zone, that created separation, like last year against the Rams, where Devontae goes to the other side. There's a miscommunication that's designed to happen between Jalen Ramsey and his cornerback on the other side, especially if they're playing man coverage. It really messed them up. And that's just one example of how Matt LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett were able to devise some really creative plays in the red zone last year, and that has really been lacking so far. Big B, is that noticeable on TV when you're watching the game?
Yeah, and I was going to say exactly what you just said, pretty much word for word. Yeah, it's really weird seeing like last year's offense and this year's offense in the red zone. I feel like this year's offense has really just like ran it up the middle twice, like inside the 5, they just run up the middle twice and then just pass. No motion in that pass play at all. It just seems like really vanilla once we get like inside the 5, inside the 10, or from the 10 to the 5. I mean, yeah. I don't really know, but I feel like it's like the same exact thing. But I feel like they just really have gone vanilla in the gold zone this year. And it's really, really weird coming off of last year, how successful they were.
For sure. And the reason they were still able to put points on offense, they're not the 40 burgers. I mean, last year coming out the gate at this point, I think they had a 40 burger in Minnesota. Next week against the Lions, doing the same thing. Week 3 against the Saints, 37. So they've been scoring points, not as many as last year, but like the both of us mentioned, to see the sharp decrease is kind of surprising, almost concerning. Both Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Matt LaFleur were asked about the red zone, the decline in red zone efficiency. Aaron Rodgers and Adams both said they need to be more aggressive, whatever that means. And LaFleur said a simple coach talk thing about that it's nothing to be concerned about, and that it's kind of a matchup thing that they've been trying to work out that they haven't been able to do as much creative stuff as they'd like.